tucked away along the northern coast of Georgia is the home of the University of Georgia's Marine Extension program. Imagine a world where students of all ages can experience the excitement of nature in its natural habitat. For students, being able to have their studies outside of the typical classroom can sometimes light a fire of interest that can last a lifetime. We'll follow these students as they are introduced firsthand to marine biology and field science.
I was a classroom teacher for the past 35 years, and I used to bring school groups down to Marine Extension Service, and we would use the Dawg. We'd go out on trawls with my classes, and I was leaving teaching, and at that time the prior captain had resigned, and Marine Extension Service was looking for U.S. Coast Guard master's captain with education experience, which was kind of an odd mix. So I applied for the job, and that's how I got it.
You get a shot of me and the captain.
Under the cover of a Florida lobster boat, the Dawg originally set sail smuggling drugs up and down the East Coast. Caught by U.S. Customs within a year, it eventually ended up with its present charge, educating students about coastal wildlife, up close and personal.
The education programs on the Dawg, one of the programs is called Studies at Sea, which in essence, very simply, is a massive collection of field data. When we collect the field data, students are broken up into teams, and each team has a specific task.
This is the science lab of the boat, where the smartest of the group hang out. You have an electron microscope down here, looking at diatoms. Very tedious work.
Oh, that's a nice catch you got there, mister.
But when they first get on board, as part of Coast Guard regulations, the captains, which includes myself, have to give a safety talk. And as part of the safety talk, we explain to every student, actually every individual on board, that there is only one captain on the ship. There is no democracy. Whatever the captain says, you need to do, and you need to do it immediately. And most of the students do understand this very, very readily. Occasionally there'll be somebody who might cut up or who might do something. We do explain that it's a safety issue and they need to follow it.
The rules of life, my friends.
In order to determine standards of water quality, students record detailed measurements using advanced marine equipment.
You're done,
Matt,
and then when you do the
what are you doing?
I'm looking at this where the
so they're going to do another reading.
measurements.
What kind of stats are you feeding us?
Just what Jilly needs for her.
Can you walk us through it?
Just do those,
Pretty much
and then they're going to
turn it on?
Uh-huh.
And then switch through the temperature and the slim
Yeah.
and all that.
Okay.
All right.
The students begin their studies at sea monitoring plankton, the very bottom of the food chain, and work their way up to larger specimens as the day progresses.
turn the moving for that. Just let them know we're
So
going
what'd you just get done doing?
We have some water here that we sampled from the Savannah River.
And what kind of
Systems.
measurements did you take?
I'm not real sure.
All right, that's good.
We will also trawl, and when we're trawling, we're doing a bottom sample, the type of trawls that we do. We're only sampling the bottom 3 or 4 feet of the water column. The type of fishing that we do is called an otter trawl. These are the otter doors, and what happens when they're dropped, they literally fly apart. And what they do, they actually go on the bottom in this fashion, and they skid along these metal plates. The top of the net, there are floats, and the bottom of the net has chain. Okay, and it keeps the bottom of the net down, and the floats keep the top of the net up. And the net itself basically is V-shaped.
Oh, hey. I'm just doing some research in the head. What we got here is our small bathroom. We've got a little water tank, so it's not really busy back here, but we've got air freshener just in case.
we'll sort through the trawl catch, and we do keep a record of the trawl catch. Part of that is used for an annual report to the Department of Natural Resources for the state of Georgia.
All right, we've got a really small catch. We've got about 20 dead fish, a couple shells, and here, show this thing. And a really cool fish. I don't know what it is, but it looks sweet. It's a squid.
For our purposes, we use that information in computer labs. We can talk about trends over several years, over seasons. And so with kids, we tend to think about and talk about what we've caught in larger terms. And we can compare that to trawls that have been done on a sea dog 5 or 6 years ago. So there's a little historic aspect that we try to tell the kids about.
So you're taking what we get in the nets and you're applying it onto your data sheet? Yes, and then I enter it into that computer right there, a little Excel spreadsheet. All right, well, you go do what you need to do. Thanks for talking to you. Thanks for staying.
We're never sure what we're going to catch, but we on a regular basis will catch stingrays, sharks. Occasionally we catch a huge stingrays, well over 100 pounds, and maybe 6 feet in length or so, where we'll have the students actually have to help us haul these on board.
Okay, now let down. Down. Okay, I have never seen a ray that big. He's not going anywhere, baby. He's got a fish down at spherical. Count to 3 and lift. Right? 1, 2, 3, lift. Okay, don't push me up. Good. Excellent.
We've also pulled up basketball nets. That means the backboard, the goal, the pole, and the concrete base.
I've got the wrong trousers!
Well, I think there are benefits to learning in a lot of different ways, and there's some things that you can do in the lab that work well. And then there are other things that really lend themselves to exploration. And so being in the field, whether we're in the salt marsh or out on the boat doing a Studies at Sea program, it really is about exploration, but with some guidelines and some structure. Certainly the opportunity to be able to handle scientific gear, to use it, to make it work, or to fix it if it doesn't work, to be able to handle some of those live animals and bring them up immediately out of the habitat in which they live is something that you can't get in the classroom.
I'd rather see things up close and personal than read about it.
I meet kids who have been through our summer camp programs at Kroger's, and for the life of me, I may have forgotten their names, but I can remember seeing them in our program, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, "Miss Ann, do you remember when we went crabbing and I caught that big old male crab and he was like 9 inches across, and wasn't it great?" And then I can say, yeah, absolutely, it was great. It was awesome. And as simple as those things seem, when you look back on them, they really are, I think, playing a good part in the future of the coast. I think it's a great program. And the great thing is that it's just a part of what we do here and part of what I get to do on a regular basis. So I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do and get paid for it.
Where does an old-time riverman go after he's passed away? Does a soul still keep a watch on the deep for the rest of the river days? Does it then come back as a channel cat?